So a few days back, I was able to see Tron Ares, and I wanted to do a review for this movie, and a more proper review than what I'm about to do here sooner, actually. But junior year in high school, taking a bunch of classes, like AP classes, and doing some stuff. I have to try to balance out that school and home life. So This is gonna be a more informal review than I normally would have done. Hopefully, I try to get that balance out better with my personal school life and what I could do on YouTube, because I really do like making these videos. They're just a lot of fun for me. But Tron Ares, I'll just say, let's just cut straight to the chase here. This was a fun time at the movies. I'm not a super big Tron fan. At the time I'm shooting this video, I've only seen the original. I haven't seen Tron Legacy, which everybody keeps saying is the best Tron movie and is amazing and everything. I'm not a super big Tron fan. I only watched the original Tron for the first time. Like, I watched the first 40 minutes of it a couple months back, and then I finally properly watched it last week. But I wasn't the biggest fan of the original Tron. It's a very rough watch in the year 2025. Some of the visual effects don't hold up. But I did respect that movie and what it was able to do with all its backgrounds, especially in the year 1982. It's very visually impressive for the time, but it can be really rough to watch in today's day and age. And Tron Ares, I didn't go in with much expectations, and I had a fun time with it. I see a lot of people online that are absolutely dunking on this movie. Probably big Tron fans that were expecting like a sequel to Legacy, but as somebody that wasn't expecting a sequel to Legacy, I had a fun enough time with it. And I get what people are saying: weak characters, weaker plot. But at the end of the day, if a movie's supposed to entertain you, this movie for sure entertained me. It was just kind of there to provide very cool visuals and a very cool soundtrack from Nine Inch Nails. I understand Daft Punk did the Tron Legacy soundtrack. I'm not familiar with that soundtrack, but I do think Nine Inch Nails is kind of what they did with the Tron Ares soundtrack. Was distinctly, it felt like it was in the world of Tron. It was a very cool soundtrack to include in all these cool, visually stunning sequences. It does something different with the franchise when you bring the grid of Tron into the real world. And so, even when you're spending time in the real world, 90% of the time, the grid is involved. You see all these cool visuals with red spaceships, red suit Tron. It's just very, very cool. Basically, just get Ares, the Jared Leto character, aura farming for 2 hours straight, and these really cool shots of him and action sequences. Come on, it did just at the end of the day put a grin on my face with all the cool sequences, soundtrack, aura farming that this movie had to offer. At the end of the day, it did put a grin on my face. It is not a perfect movie at all. I wouldn't say it's a movie I absolutely love, and as somebody that's not a big Tron fan, I don't know that I'd rewatch this film. The plot really felt like it wanted you to care about the characters, in particular with Greta Lee's character. There's a thing with her sister kind of passing away that's kind of... It felt like they really wanted you to care about it that more than I actually did. And then when it comes to our Ares little plotline about an artificial intelligence that wants to be permanent, it's something that we've kind of seen before, and so thus it just felt a little familiar and also a little predictable as it went along. So I didn't care for the plot of Tron Ares. None of the characters are particularly memorable at all. I don't even remember the villain's name. The main villain, as well as the villain that they actually fight at the end. So while the plot very thin, characters very thin, but the action and visual spectacle is it's a chunk of the movie. It's 85% of the movie. It's just action, spectacle, and was I entertained? Yes. Did it put a grin on my face? Yes. So but maybe that's just coming from me as somebody who's not a Tron fan. I don't hate this movie. So I know a bunch of people are dunking on it online. I simply don't feel that way because I'm not super duper into Tron, so I enjoyed what I got out of this movie generally. Overall, I'm going to give it a B-. That was just my review, spitballing all my thoughts out on camera. And so, there you have it. That's my review of Tron Ares, and I gotta get back to doing homework pretty soon, so down below in the comment section, share what you thought of Tron Ares. Thank you guys so much for sticking around to the end. I'll see you in the next one.